Hello everyone, Simon here again with AvaTrade. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody had a great trading week and you're enjoying the weekend, getting ready to the upcoming week. And this is our next webinar in the series of your weekly trading plan. And before we go any further, I'll go through the risk warning. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be construed or applied as investment advice or recommendation or suggestion. CFDs are complex instrument and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to the leverage. 71% of retail investors' accounts lose money when trading CFDs with this provider. You should consider whether you understand how CFDs work or whether you can afford to take the risk of losing your money. And you can find a statement on avatrade.com for disclosure of the risk. Let's move on. Today, first, this is the contact details. You can contact us at Twitter at AvaTrade, and of course, YouTube channel. We can get a lot of tutorials, a lot of information recorded for your convenient abilities to learn. And today we'll go through a few groups of instruments. We'll start with indices, then move to Forex, then some commodities, and few stocks. Now I'm going to switch to the charts and we'll move on. Okay, so this week, let's see what is coming up and how the previous weeks finished. And this is the S&P 500. Keep on going. The sky's the limit. Nothing can stop it. Um, even the news are coming out and everything else, and a few things in the positive. Goldman Sachs predicts much higher levels for S&Ps and so on. All the things together, somehow we still continue going higher. So again, on the upside, there's no level of resistance because we're totally new zones right now. And let's move on to the daily chart. Let's take a look. After having a little bit of consolidation here and no pullbacks, we'll continue going higher. So let's see what the coming week will bring. Dow Jones, similar idea, new highs. We spoke about NASDAQ. He's out of three, he's the lagger, still didn't manage to make the new high. And let's see what's happening on the daily chart. We could easily put the level here, something around 15,163 as a possible resistance or breakout point. And on the downside, probably the previous day's low could be immediate support. But in any event, 15,000, around 15,000 is the psychological level there for NASDAQ index. Let's go to FTSE, the UK index. We're still not at the all-time highs, but we broke from the previous resistance here on the weekly, and we might continue higher here. We're close to 71.72. We're close pretty much on the high of the week. So we'll see what happens there. DAX, new all-time highs. Very strong, very bullish. After strong consolidation, we're going higher. The French index was said, it's also strong. And the Nifty, the Indian market is robust. To those of you who trading, similar idea, take a look on the daily chart. There was a consolidation on the top of this range, and then we broke through. And the Friday was a very strong day, no pullbacks at all. Nikkei is the one is really has no power to go. Okay, so again, summarize the indices. We're making new highs. The market is strong. Let's see how we continue this week against the all-time highs. And let's move to Forex, and we'll start, of course, with the dollar index in general, and we'll see what's happening here on the dollar index. And we had a week that we touched the levels. I don't know, my levels disappeared for some reason, but we did touch the level of resistance here. We pulled back again. Let's see on the daily chart, we see it much better. And let's see how this week will take. We came to the 20-day moving average on dollar index, and let's see how we play the upcoming week. And this would be something that to pay attention. There was the low of previous week, and the low there was 91.80, and we did touch something that we predicted the previous week, and we didn't break it. So for the sellers here, for the limit sellers, there was a good entry here and pretty much a nice profit. So of course, according to the dollar index, the currencies the past week were stronger, and then let's go through them. Let's take a look on euro dollar. We said that this level here would be support around 117.34, and take a look how beautiful it played out. It came to this level. It was a fake breakout. One day we closed lower, the following day we came right back, and a powerful move on Friday on euro dollar. Take a look at pound, British pound. Can't decide where to go. Pretty much open and close of last week's pretty much the same. We opened 138.66 and we closed 138.69. There's a 3 pip difference. Isn't that funny? How the whole week we moved back and forth and we closed pretty much in the same spot. So let's see whether pound decides to move the upcoming week. Dollar yen had a down move, and we came straight to the 20 moving average on the weekly chart. And let's see on the daily what we're going to do. Let's try to set up some levels. So 108.70, should we choose to go lower here? This is the level that we bounced from over here. There's a lot of activity on this level, 108.70. We retested it on the 4th of August. And let's see if we can get closer to it and see how the price action acts around these levels. Australian dollar, very interesting. We spoke about this key level here, 0.7371, and take a look how it's not a significant level in numbers, but take a look how the instrument is glued to this level. It's a magnet that just holding this level. We broke down, we broke up, we broke down, and then we straight to this level again. And on the weekly chart, it looks more significant. Take a look. We can't close above it. So again, if this week dollar gets stronger for some reason, Australian dollar would be probably the one moving lower faster than others, because it has a hard time to breaking through very, very strong resistance around here. So we're going to be watching this currency closely. And last week, I give to your attention 2 pairs that played amazingly. We spoke about Euro Swiss. Take a look. I told you that after this move, there could be a potential of going higher, and take a look how the week ended. It was a very, very nice move, and the Friday was sold out, but we had a very, very beautiful move. It was a good entry with the safe stop, maybe of 10, 15, 20 pips, and the potential of going higher. And the other one, which was not as robust, but it still made some moves, that was the euro pound. But euro Swiss was very, very good trade. It was a good call there. for those who pay attention to it and took some actions. That was a very, very nice trade. So that's as far as the Forex. Again, we'll be watching dollar index, what's going to be happening, and of course the other currencies will be paying attention accordingly. Let's move to some commodities, and we'll start from gold. Gold acted very nicely on the weakness of the dollar, and we had a nice move up from the recent sell, and we're still not out of the woods, but we did come into a positive zone here. We said that this level over here of 1760 will be the one with the brace will go higher. We back above it, and we'll be watching it now on the subject of being a possible support. So if we do see some price actions coming back to 1760 and having difficulty breaking, there could be a possibility of a continuous move up. Again, we'll be seeing what the dollar index is doing. And if the dollar is getting strong and we're coming below 1760 and start establishing some price action below the level, we could see continuation on the downside of gold. So 1760 key level here. And let's move to oil. There were some developments on oil, and Biden spoke about it. Spoke about addressing oil producers, that's OPEC and other countries that produce oil. And he's trying to convince them to increase the production of oil, and by doing so, to lower the price for the oil, so the consumers will pay less for gas and so on. So take a look what oil did in general. We had a little bit of a strength on the weekly chart. We sold out, well, then we closed about the previous week's low, but it still looks very weak on oil. So we'll probably draw the levels here around 66, 50, 60, 67 level, and the previous week high as a possible strong resistance. So if you could see now we're getting lower to retest this level here. We didn't really try hard to bring it to the previous level where we came from. So let's see how we act when it gets close to these levels here. And that's the oil. Natural gas finally caught up with oil selling, and take a look. It didn't happen until the week just ended, and we closed at the lows on natural gas. So if the oil continues going lower, natural gas can catch up with it. And let's take a look how we were sitting now on the 20-day moving average. Let's see if we can push it lower to 380 and see how it plays. If we do break this level here, it's opening entirely new zone for possible move lower on the natural gas. Another one is copper. There's a lot of negative news from China. Goldman Sachs downgraded investment on China. A lot of controversial things happening there. And the last thing, because of COVID, they closed the third largest port in the world due to the COVID cases there. And as we know, copper is something that very sensitive as a commodity to conditions or economic situation in China. And take a look, we saw this week, the previous week was sold. This week, past week, we couldn't make a significant move up. And we'll be watching, possible we can draw maybe a trend line. Even the trend line could be something that could pay attention to. Just 1 second. We want to see if this trend line is holding, and if we could come closer and start closing lower, we could see a move down on copper. We had a pretty strong move starting with COVID, with Corona, and we didn't really have a strong pullback on the monthly chart. This is the one, and let's see if the news continue to be pretty negative from China, copper can react further to the downside. We spoke about coffee, and last week was strong. We spoke about possible bounce from the recent correction, and it did happen. There was a nice move on coffee from 173 to about 186. For those who follow the coffee, pay attention for what's next. Sugar had a tremendous move up and is continuing. It's keep on closing on the highs, and this is the monthly chart. You take a look. This level is the one that we bounced from, and that's the high of 2014, and the high of last week was 2005. So 2014, we could be watching for that level for possible resistance. And if we do break that level and the price actions continues to be strong, we could see the next level higher and so on. So sugar, very interesting, not an easy thing to trade as a soft commodity, but is a very strong move up for those of you who want to take some action in it. We spoke about corn, and it did work out. Remember, we said that on daily chart is a really tight range here. Something is building up, and the moment we break through the range, we'll see a move higher, and that's what happened. We had a strong impulse here. I guess all the stops got hit, and on the daily chart, take a look. This is daily chart of the 12th of August, and the moment we broke, you could probably see it on the small time frame. Let's take a look what this move happened here. Okay, so just to pay attention to these things that I spoke with you with last week, that when you see something like that, and the longer the tight range goes, the harder the moves will be, and it just proved itself to be truth. The moment we broke to the previous day high, let's take a look what happened. The strong reaction, we came back in, but this was a very, very nice opportunity for those for looking for catching a strong impulse and get out on time. So this is corn. We'll go and finalize our today's webinar with some individual stocks, and we'll start with Disney. Disney came with great news. They had amazing results on subscriptions to their streaming business, even opening on their parks and so on. But take a look. I spoke about it last week that with the corona and everything in Florida and southern states, it's not so great. And take a look. The first reaction was a gap up, but then we came in something called gap and down. So we might continue and try to close the gap, the pre-announcement gap. It's around 179, 180 area. And let's see how we act here. So the news are great. There's a lot of positive things there, but the stock sold out on the market going higher. So something is wrong there. And let's see how this level of how next week is actually will play for this level around 179, 180. And if we come back in this area, we could see continuous move down on Disney. Microsoft is very strong, and if you see daily chart, I believe we spoke about it that Microsoft could not break, and it did. And this is all-time high area here, so we can't really say what's going to be on the upside, but we want to see a possible pull in and confirming this level around 289, 290 area, and see what happens there on Microsoft. Let's take a look on Amazon. Amazon has no power to bounce from this gap down and is slowly bleeding lower. It's not a good sign. And should the market take a look, the market was strong on Friday. The whole week we closed higher, and Amazon had no energy to move higher. That's not a good sign. And if the market continues to pull in, Amazon will probably continue going lower, something to pay attention. Tesla, we spoke about Tesla, and we had, again, my levels disappeared. I apologize. I don't know why, but we spoke about Tesla and the levels here around, I believe was 696 area. And we did confirm it as a support and take a look. We said that will be, if we hold this level here around 296, 297, we'll go higher to retest 725, and that's what happened on Friday. We hit the 725. The high was there, 728.90, almost $729. It was a very good trade for those who were entering this limit buys around 697, 700 area. It was a very nice move, and we didn't close higher. So again, this is our new range, and we'll be watching it how it's doing with this within this $25-$30 range, and I'll see what's happening next here. Pfizer, our hero Pfizer, it's continue going higher. This was our indication. We said if we break this level here, the previous level would bounce from 46.25 area, and we continue moving higher. And it's very strong as the world start using, some countries, they start using the booster, the third shot of the vaccination, and Pfizer and Moderna are the big players there. So it's very strong. Again, on the daily chart, should we continue higher, we should break this level here, the level of the 10th of August, and the high was there 48.53. Let's see that. Google and Apple. Fundamentally, there's a lot of negative talks around Google and Apple, and the U.S. government got involved very strongly on the antitrust, and they're going to be feeling a lot of stress there because of the monopoly of the app stores. So Google and Apple to watch. Let's see Google, very strong, but we still with the up market. The last week we could not break the level of, let's take a look what this level is, 2763.44. So this is something, let's put it correctly. So the level is 2763.44. This is the level that is a 2 weeks ago we couldn't break that level, and now we're getting closer to it. So let's see what the market is doing, and let's see how this antitrust thing is moving on. And on the daily chart, we could see that we're pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 days, we're pretty much in the same range. And it could be that this news start really affecting the stock, and it could start pulling lower. And Apple, similar thing. Let's take a look at Apple. Similar idea. We didn't break the high of the week. It's even earlier, the 11th of July, and the high there was 149.83, and we're still there. Again, let's see how this week. Friday was a neutral day. Nothing major happened. Sorry, that's Friday. So let's watch these stocks for the fundamental negative news there. It could possible that it will be affecting the stocks to the downside. Let's go to Uber. We spoke about Uber on the SoftBank selling it, and then the Uber had to move up, or it didn't sustain that move, and we continue lower here. So let's see how this week is playing. And this was the previous week's low with the spike. Let's see how this level holds around 40, pretty much 40. GM, we spoke about GM and all the excitement about electrical vehicles in the future and everything else. And Goldman, not the Goldman, but some other banks setting up high targets for this. Some said 76, some $79. But take a look. We did have we did try to move higher, but we actually looking down and on the daily chart as well. So General Motors is not really looking that great to the upside. That's it pretty much. And you know what? Let's take a look at some cryptos before we go, even though we didn't plan to it, but I did have some requests for Bitcoin for some people. So just take a look what's in here. We had a strong move. This is the weekly chart. We had a strong move from around 30,000 area, and we broke through the 20 moving average here. And on the daily chart, this was the next level of support that we built, and the level that we bounced from, that was the high of 47,821. So this is the level to look. So far we're selling from there, and again, there's a lot of news. Some approve using of Bitcoin, some giving, especially from the US. There's a lot of pressure to the Bitcoin of possible frauds and everything else. So a lot of things that is affecting the cryptocurrencies. It's a very controversial instrument. So whoever's trading it, it's a lot of excitement, a lot of opportunities. It comes with a lot of risk as well. And Ethereum, take a look. We actually broke through this level here that I was watching on the daily, and we closed higher. So whatever level we couldn't break, the high of 3185, 3186, let's say 3180 roughly, and we broke through it. And this is probably a new level of support, at least for now, something to watch for the possible move higher. And that's it pretty much. I wish everyone an amazing week, and of course, stay safe, trade smart, make your plans, and then trade the plan. And of course, always control your risk, because this is the most important thing. Take care and have a wonderful week.